Hello, this is UOW Update, Week 2 Autumn Session. I'm Josh. Not too many of us know the whole truth about life in Burma. Masters journalism student and professional videographer Michaela Verna, however, has just returned from a trip to the reclusive country, and the stories and images she has brought back are not what you may have expected.
I think it's significant because it offers a different perspective on Burma. It's told by the people, by the local people. I was very lucky that I was connected to a lady, a Burmese lady, who later became my translator and an interpreter. So I had a very rare insider's perspective about Burma. I could ask any questions and talk to many locals. I have enough information that I want to put it all together and maybe create a piece about the freedom or actually non-freedom of speech in Burma. I would like my documentary to show the sides to Burma that people normally don't hear about. They think it's a frightening country, but I think in reality it's very warm, kind and inviting in human nature. I interviewed about 10 different people from 7 different countries, and all of them have very, very positive experiences about Burma. The audience is everyone who is willing to look beyond the news headlines.
A new session is always a busy time, and for many, finding a car park is back on the daily agenda. The man in charge of controlling the traffic is Tom Hunt. We spoke with Tom to find out about parking and transport and how they're being handled.
Well, we've got an ongoing program of encouraging people to use other forms of transport, not only for the purposes of reducing the congestion we have, but also to improve our environmental credentials. Well, we understand that parking is short. It's not that we can provide unlimited parking, unfortunately, but we have around 3,000 car parks across the campus. Unfortunately, we have about 24,000 people vying for those spaces. So I look for people to assist on that front by reducing the amount of cars coming to the university. Clearly, if we were to put more parking in, which is possible in the future, it wouldn't necessarily resolve any of the issues with congestion. In fact, it would probably make congestion worse. With time, I'd like to see more space put aside for carpooling and make it easier for students to carpool. Other initiatives we have are looking at how we can improve public transport or somehow sponsor students in their public transport costs. Why drive? There are alternatives. We have 3 free shuttles that get people from nearby suburbs and do a wonderful job. We couldn't ask for better services than we've got, all free of charge.
UOW's award-winning PASS or Peer-Assisted Study Session is marking a major milestone, 10 years of helping students. The big birthday a chance to take a closer look at PASS, what it does and what's in store this year.
I think everybody's really excited about the whole experience of running PASS in its 10th year this year. It's had astronomical growth over the last 10 years and really looking back at those figures we realise how much PASS has supported students' learning. So in 2010 we really had a great year for awards for the PASS program at UOW. We were awarded the best PASS program in the world by the International Centre in the USA.
Being a PASS leader is a great feeling, helping people understand the content. PASS is not meant to teach, but help to facilitate learning, and it all comes down to the students and their willingness to participate, and hopefully as a leader I get them all to participate well, and we get a good session out of that.
If you're really good and understand something, then it's a good way to clarify and make sure that you can present your answers properly when it comes to exams and assessments. And if you're not that great, or if you're just an average student, then it's a really great way to get to that next level and get higher grades, because that's just a great way to learn. I think it's a good thing. People should get more involved, take advantage of this massive resource that we have, a worldwide recognised program.
The state election looms ever closer, and politicians are well and truly on the hustings. Greens MLC and candidate David Shoebridge was on campus last week, speaking with students about his proposed Bill of Rights for New South Wales.
Australia is one of the few advanced democracies in the world that doesn't have a Human Rights Act. And particularly here in New South Wales, there's been a history of the New South Wales government passing legislation that attacks our fundamental human rights. There are no human rights in the Australian Constitution. People assume those rights are found in our federal constitution, but it simply doesn't provide them. Everyone I speak to assumes we already have these rights. And when you tell them you don't have those rights, their immediate reaction is, well, of course we should have them. We've now developed a Bill of Rights that we think would greatly advance human rights here in New South Wales. We haven't dropped the ball on dealing with climate change, on dealing with public transport, on dealing with getting our public education system up to scratch. I can tell you now, there are so many things that New South Wales needs fixed that we think the Bill of Rights is just part of that package.
A new year brings with it a new exhibition season at the Faculty of Creative Arts. Professor Brogan Bunt showing off his new works of geometrical art.
These are what I call computational drawings. I was actually teaching a first year subject last year called computational media, and I'd written this drawing engine in code. So I mainly do a lot of programming based work. How it kind of raises problems about labour and how we deal with computational labour, which is normally hidden and so fast that you can barely think about it, but it still is actually a process in time. So I'm hoping that kind of try to expose those dimensions of computation that are not normally visible. This isn't very mathematically complex, but when it starts becoming visual, it gets a lot more interesting.
And that's our update for week 2. I'm Josh Mathews. From all of us here at UOW TV, have a great week.